Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good evening. Okay, so hi, this is first class for our lecture. Okay, for consumer behavior. All right, BUS 2238. All right. So students, since this is the first week, so I just start with some of the snapshots on the topic one. For those who are this is your first time meet me, my name is Miss Noorsyalina Nordin, and I'm from School of Business and Legal Studies. So this is actually the third time, fourth or maybe fifth or maybe 3 years. Oh, yeah, but I already have teach this subject for multiple semester. Um, yeah, so now I'm having this one. Okay, so first of all, I want to thank for those who are buying the manual for this subject because I believe that some of you maybe need some very proper like a book in order to do your study, right? Okay, all right. So without further ado, I just proceed to the topic one, consumer behavior, its origin and strategic application. All right. So as you can see from the slide that I'm sharing with you all, they have five of the topic objective. Okay. After studying these topics, the student should be able to define the scope of the consumer behavior. Okay. And then the second one, explain the development of the marketing concept and the discipline of the consumer behavior. And then the third one, we have identified the customer value, satisfaction, and retention. And the fourth one, we have discussed marketing ethics and the social responsibility. And the last one, we have the comprehend consumer behavior and decision making are interdisciplinary. So for the first class, I think that I'm not covering all, okay, because yeah, still have a process of some of your friends still add and drop, okay, the subject, and so do with the subject consumer behavior. And don't forget to put in the group WhatsApp your name, your metric number, and also your details, active Gmail address in order to add on in the new platform. Officially, we will use the new platform next week. For those who are still do not know and familiar about what is Neo, Neo is a online platform that we are using for IIC online learning since MCO since last semester. So for those who used to me before this, so this is our platform learning Neo. Later once I already enroll you, add you in using your email, and you get some invitation for enroll the classes, then you can start to have joining my class. All right. So don't worry so much, okay, because I will guide you on how to enroll in the class. All right. So we're moving on to the first one, okay, that we call as definitions of the consumer behavior. Okay. Of course, we have to know what is definitions of a consumer behavior, or maybe you can look into the terms of what is consumer, what is the behavior. Okay, consumer is looking for those that we call as the customer, as the buyer, who those who are actually potentially to buy your product and afford to buy your products. Whereby when we're talking about behavior, we are talking about your character as the consumer. When you want to buy something, you have multiples of the personality and traits in order to choose something, whether you are the fussy customer, whether you are very pleasant customer, whether you are really what we call choosy customers. So they have a multiples of personality that we have to learn. So in this subject, we not only just totally learning about the business, the customer, but we are also learning about the psychology and how the traits and the perspective that we in here we are looking working as marketers, no? Because you cannot imagine that you are the customer in here, but we as the marketers, we as the supplier, we as the business, okay, we are looking into how the prospect of the customer and how the behavior react towards our product and services. So this is all about the subject, and I have to highlight also in this subject we have a lots of the term regarding of the psychology terms, because we talking about the behavior, and the behavior is we also have the five fingers in our hand, right? So every single in here we have a different height and weight. So do with our behavior. If my class in consumer behavior right now, I have around 30 students, so I have 30 behavior of the students, and also the behavior. All right, so okay, we go to the definitions of the consumer behavior. So the behavior being stated in here that consumer display in searching for, purchasing, using, evaluating, and disposing of the product and services that their aspect will satisfy their needs. So when we're talking about the consumer display, meaning to say in here was how the customer react, okay, in the process of their searching and seeking for the product they want, and how passionate they are, they want to find out the products, and then the purchasing, the behavior, and how they use and how they evaluate, because evaluation of the certain consumer will be totally different. If I have 30 students in my class, so you have 30 evaluations about me, so do with the product and services that you seeking for, that the customer seeking for, and disposing of the product and services, whether the product is easy to dispose or not, and it can be retrieved back. Okay, example, like when I talking about disposing, whether, for example, you buy the certain product, whether this product can be easily recycled or not. So that is one example. Okay, and the aspect that will satisfy their needs. Okay, needs and want is two different, totally different things. Okay, so needs meaning to say they have to fulfill their needs, basic needs. Okay, like a food, drinks, shelter, and also clothes. Okay, so we're moving to the second one. Okay, the two consumer entities. Okay, entities in here, what the two kind or two types of the consumer in the consumer behavior perspective. We have two. We have number one is personal consumer, and number two we have the organizational consumer. So when we're talking about the personal consumer, is about the individual who buy goods and services for his or her own use, for household use, for the use of the family member, or for the friends. Example, you buy your own like groceries of for your family. You buy your, for example, like shampoo, soap, anything about your for your use, your own use, right? So every single of the product that you used to buy for your family, okay, and maybe for your friends, okay, that we call as personal consumer. Whereby for the organizational consumer is regarding the business, government agency, or other institution, profit or non-profit. This one is focusing on ITB class, if you still remember, okay, in ITB, Introduction to Business, BUS 1231, there is a two difference of organization. We have profit versus non-profit organizations that buys the goods, services, and or equipment necessary for the organization to the function. Okay, so with the organizational consumer, we have like example, okay, the company, let's say like IIC, we buy like machine photocopy, we buy the desktop, we buy the computer, we buy the chairs, the tables, and it used for the company. And so do like in the classroom, we have multiple chairs, and then we have the lectures table, we have the whiteboard. That one we call as organization consumer. All right, so we go to the next one, development of the marketing concept. Okay, we have production orientation, sales orientation, and also the marketing concept. Okay, so this is about the timeline on how the deriving of the marketing concept. Okay, the first one we're talking about production orientations. Okay, so it start during, if you still remember, this is, I think that you are not still born yet, and I also not born yet. So 1920s is the first World War One. Okay, and we not even hi okay World War One, and then it start from 1850s to the late 1920s. So during this time is the killer time because everybody are chasing for the manufacturing and it based on the quantity. Okay, because they want something like you have to produce based on the production. Okay, and your performance is based on the production. You perform more, you are performers. If you perform less, you are underperformers. Okay, so it start from 1850s to the late 1920s, and the companies is focused on production capabilities. So if the company have the multiples of the machineries and also some of the technology in order to enhance the production, the company will beat the others. Okay, and the company will beat the competitors, whereby um, in here they said consumer demand exceeded supply, so mostly the consumer will have demand for the products. Okay, so that is in the production era, orientation era. And then we move to the second era uh where we will buy. Okay, they are focusing on the sales orientations. So it start from 1930s to the mid 1950s, and this is already the time whereby the range between the World War I to the World War II. Okay, for your information student, if the some question asking when is the World War I, when is the World War II. World War I, okay, perang dunia pertama adalah ketika 1920, tahun 1920, and the World War II is during 1946. So that's why kalau you used to see that people say baby boomers generation, this is the person and the people who are born during 1946 and above. And so during this time in the sales orientation, they are focusing on the selling. Okay, so of course, production in the above just now is both based on the production orientation, where the sales they are focused on the selling. You produce the product, you keep on selling. You have to market the product, and then during this time, the supply exceeded customer demand. So this one we call when supply exceed customer demand, meaning surplus. The above just now. When the consumer demand exceed the supply, meaning there will be a shortage. Okay, I think that you learn in Madam Akuma class, right? Economic class. Okay, so you should know that. All right, so we go for the third one. We have marketing concept. It's 1950s to the current, which means until now, we are based on the marketing. Okay, so we are focused on the customer. So that's why you always heard the word customer always right. Customer is the king. Customer is the queen. Customer is everything. Customer is perfect, even though they are doing the wrong things, right? Okay, so yeah, during this time, they are determining the needs and want of the specific target market. Very my student. After this, I will teach you what is STP acronym. S is for segmentation, T is targeting, P is positioning. So you have to save S in your mind by today, meaning to say you have to remember. I repeat again. S segmentation, T targeting, P is positioning. All right. So when we're talking about the target market, meaning to say who is the person, who is the customer you are targeting for. But bear in mind, when talking about the target customer, target market, this customer is willing and afford to buy your products. All right. And the third one, we have deliver satisfaction better than competition, meaning to say nowadays the customer looking for satisfaction, exceed satisfaction, they will say superb deba for your product and also your services. Okay. All right. So we go to the next one, societal marketing concept. This is a more on if you had heard about the terms corporate social responsibility or CSR, so this is a more on that, but they are more on the societal marketing concept. So in here, they consider consumer long run best interest. Okay, so meaning to say when you have put something like bind, okay, and bonding between the customer and also manufacturer or the marketers, actually you have actually what we have said to say that looking into CRM, customer relationship management. So you have to put something like a good interest between the customer and also um, the marketers. Okay, and in here they said good corporate citizenship. So in here if you realize in here I'm showing something like Siemens. Okay, company is doing something advertisement. How can you power a planet hungry for electricity without damaging it? So they are concerned about the environmental. Okay, if you realize also nowadays what is the current issue is about the COVID-19 pandemic. It's all about this dirty hands and also the destroy hands that come from the human being. If you still remember, I don't remember the verse, but in Al-Quran stated the human's hand that making destroyment of this environmental, tangan-tangan ini yang sedang membuat kemusnahan adalah tangan-tangan manusia. Okay, terhadap muka bumi. So this is what we're talking about, the things that we have to take and some consideration right now, because environmental is right now is sick, right? Kita punya alam sekarang sedang berada dalam, orang kata kalau fasa dalam tu dah ICU. So meaning they are totally sick and they need some breath. So that's why during the COVID-19, when all the human beings in the world are stopping to do all those things, okay, no any kinds of activities, and what happened, the world is become clear, okay, and the air is very very clear and clean. And then if you realize all those, the plantation is a agriculture especially, all are wow, they have a very impressive in terms of all the plantation is a nice and okay, and they develop very good. And nowadays see, when it's already clear out from this pandemic, slowly human take place and then making the destroyment to the world. So I'm not doing the campaign of the green here, green campaign, but this is have to be bear in mind, okay, that at the same time we have to take care about our planet, because we are living in this world, okay. We know the world is only temporary, okay, but we have to take a role that not just hablum minallah hablum nas, but at the same time the alam, okay, this natural, okay, we have to take consideration as a part of we are living in here, okay. All right, and then we are talking about also the marketing concept. Okay, I'm moving on here. We have a three, we have four here. Embracing the marketing concept, we have consumer research, we have segmentation, market targeting, positioning. That's the previously I told you about the STP acronym. Remember, S is segmentation, T targeting, P positioning. So under the consumer research, we have the process and tools used to study the consumer behavior. So we are talking about how the process of the marketers is doing their work, okay, in order to do like consumer research. I give a very simple example. When Nestle want to invent the product like Big Maggie curry, right? So what they do in the consumer research, okay, how the product is invented. Okay, the first one, they do some research. People say the normal of our size packaging uh, noodle instance, okay, ataupun Maggi is a very small portion and it's not enough. We have to make two packets to make for those large portion, but at the same time when they make two they have too much, right? So one packet maybe around 175 gram, when two is 150 gram. So how they do it? By inventing big Maggie curry meals from 75 gram into 1 to 5 gram, and then what happened, and it's invented to like what you see the packaging right now, right? So this is something like the feedback that come from the customer when they give something like commands, okay, and then response to a certain product. So that is the idea from the marketers and all the company manufacturer in order to invent a certain of new products, a new product development. Okay, so that is some of the what we call as consumer research. Okay, maybe also some certain tools they use is also on how to study the consumer behavior. Maybe they use some survey, a very mini survey, and then what they do is collecting some opinion from the customer, new products, how they taste. Maybe it's too spicy, maybe it's too salty, or maybe there's too sour. So especially when come to like yeah, because you know we have a many of multiple brands for the instant noodle, for example, right? So I keep wonder, okay, why they have to do this, because they have need some of her perspective from the customer, because the customer will buy the product if they do some improvement. If the product is worse and very bad taste, they have to tell it because it's for the improvement. That's why we need to do the consumer research. Okay, and the second one we have is second. My tongue is already become short. Okay, the second one is like segmentation. Okay, segmentation is the process of dividing. So the keywords in here is about dividing the market into subsets of the consumer with the common needs or characteristic. So example is very simple. When we're talking about segmentation, okay, let's say I segmented you into the gender. So mostly based on the what we call um, demographic. Okay, it's very simple. Demographic, gender, income, what we call age. Okay, what else? maybe like educations, okay, maybe also like the levels of education, something like that. That is some of the segmentation be done. Okay, let's say gender. Okay, gender in this world, I have to bear and highlight to you all is only two. We have male and female, no female after all, and no others. Okay, if you realize nowadays all the social media start to actually putting something like one box, gender, male, female, and then others. Okay, please, okay, we are not allowed to do that, so we only have two gender in this world. So okay, what is this? Okay, when segmentation the products into segmentation of the gender, okay, you realize or not, some of your physical products like toiletries product or maybe your cosmetics products, they have for certain for men and some for women and some for male and female. So it's something like segmentation according to, and the worst cases, sorry, and the most important things is mostly the products is referring to the gender, okay, gender use, because why, maybe certain of the ingredients and some of the products materials being used is only suit for the gender of male, and some certain ingredient is only suit for the woman. So uh, that's why they have a very have a focusing on segmentation according to the men and also women. So that one is gender simple. Okay, and the third one we have the market targeting. Okay, we're talking about targeting. So targeting is about the selection of one or more of the segment identified to pursue. So when talking about market targeting, it's very simple for me. Who is your target market? Your target market must be the person who afford to buy your product. So when I asking the question, this question, the same question, who is the target market for the Pampers? You know Pampers, Pampers for baby. So they said it's a baby, okay. But bear in mind, do the baby pay their own Pampers? The answer is no, right? So the baby is not paying their own at the counter cashier. I want to pay for my Pampers. It's not like that. So that is not their target market. The target market is their parents. So meaning to say the target market for Pampers is the parents with children, the parents with baby. So the parents is the target market. If I ask you the same question also, but I twist a little bit, the Pampers for adults, who is the target market? You cannot say adults. Okay, maybe the adults also can, but mostly, most probably, when adults you using Pampers means they are already in needs. So mostly, who is buying the Pampers for adults is the children. Okay, so that's why when you're talking about the market targeting, who is the person afford to pay for your products? That is very important. All right, and then the next one we have positioning. Positioning is very simple. What you have to do and what you have to understand is about what is actually you position for. Okay, in here they said developing a distinct image for the product in the mind of the consumer. So meaning to say when you position something, remember that your position words, brand, image, anything, it will make the customer remember the product or maybe the services in heart and also mind. So example, I'm loving it, McDonald, Nike, I just do it. Okay, like Asia, we have everyone can fly. Okay, and then we have like what else? Okay, maybe I give you example simple like McDonald, I'm loving it. So everybody in Universal know what's been love, right? So love is something like a good thing. So we love the product. I'm loving it. I'm loving it, right? So it's something like it's very near to the heart. Very simple tagline positioning, but it's make the customer remember. And so do with the M, alphabet M, right? From the far, you can see the kids remember, oh, that is McDonald, that is KFC, that is a Starbucks, because why? Distinct image, okay? And then the successful positioning, including communicating the benefits of the product, especially when it comes to the pharmaceutical products, healthy products, okay, the maybe certain of the product, maybe cosmetics product, okay, the benefits when using the product, okay, but bear in mind you have the effort to buy the product, but with the permission of biiznillah of Allah, right? If Allah will giving you, maybe you eat the Panadol, paracetamol, sorry, Panadol is the brand, paracetamol is the medication, okay. You cannot say that the Panadol or paracetamol is make me better, or after I eat the paracetamol I'm feeling better. Okay, because every single people they eat the same thing, the same dosage with you, but they are not better. So biiznillah is come back, okay, to our belief that with Allah will, when I take these two tablet, yeah, I can better. Sikit lah, just to make you do not believe that the product makes you better, but it's about the God. Alright, and then communicating a unique selling proposition. So this is about the tagline. How you make people like, Asia, very good. Said everyone can fly, and the money is flying too, right? So this is talking about unique selling, okay? Because they want to have the proposition, something like positioning words to make. They said that everybody have the affordability to fly, using fly, okay. So I think that maybe, okay, for this time around I will like stop here because I don't want to finish everything. I can finish by today, but I think that I will keep it, and then we will continue next week. So I will stop until STP just now, the marketing concept, and then I will continue starting from the marketing mix, okay, product, price, place, promotion until the end, okay. Inshallah, next week I will meet you together with the new platform, and we will do the live lecture. And for those who are buying the manual, just to remind you all, once you get the manual, please snap your picture together with the book. And then number two, please snap a picture of the packaging, whether it's in a bubble wrap or not. I want to know. And then please calculate the days that arrive to your home, because I want to give feedback to the suppliers. If any improvement, please tell me about that, okay, because I need your response. And if every of you can get the copies, I think that is much better, because inside um the neo I cannot put everything, but when in the manual I have compiled everything. So the best thing, when you can get your manual, yeah, inshallah, okay, you just using my link. I already shared the link in the group, so I hope that you can do some the next of transaction, like you are buying the product from Shopee, right? Put your email, and then make sure before you put your everything, before you check out, check the first the item, and then you click the checkout, and then you can put your address, and then make sure the correct address and the postcode. If not, your parcel will not arrive to you. Yeah, that's it, okay. And then make the payment, whether using a debit card, credit card, that's it. All right, and then again, thank you so much, take care, please stay healthy, okay, keep using mask, sanitizing your hand, and washing your hands, social distance, okay. Assalamualaikum, bye, see you soon. Assalamualaikum.